IELTS Writing, the difference between Band 8 and Band 6.5 essays. Now, if you are aiming for Band 7 or for a Band 8, you are probably going into the labour market and going to start working soon. So let me tell you quite a funny story about when I was working, and then we'll just jump straight into the essays, I promise. So one day my boss came into work with his brand new car. It was really modern, really expensive. So I said, hey, wow, that's a sweet car, amazing, well done. And he said, well, I'll tell you what he said afterwards, okay, because it's important if you're looking for a job. So let's have a look. First, essays that scored Band 6.5, they addressed the topic, but the argument wasn't fully developed. So probably they didn't put a reason in there, they probably didn't give an example, and it probably wasn't the strongest example. Maybe it was structured in the way of, my friend in my town once bought a car and he was the boss, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, here the structure, the essay structure, this is critical. It's really easy to learn, but it must be structured in a certain way. And a very quick way is general to specific. That will help you a lot. And also a single argument. Let's go on to the next one. So if it scored an 8, all parts of the writing tasks were addressed and fully understood as well, because I've seen it so many times. Maybe it's a problem solution essay question, and the essay is totally focused on the problem, and 2 paragraphs all dedicated to the problem. So we need to be 100% certain that we're actually addressing task response. And here's a quick tip. You want to double check your plan. When you see the question, write your plan and then just check that it corresponds to the question. Okay, and having a good vocabulary range will also help you avoid errors. For example, if you misunderstand one of the words or don't understand it entirely, then there's a good chance that you're going to write an essay about a slightly different topic. And these are small changes that can clearly affect your essay. So here, once again, we have to give specific examples that support your case. And I've said this a million times before, but it's not the quality of your argument, it's the clarity it's communicated in. This is a language test, and this is where we're going to pick up the points, because language is all about communication. So don't worry, if you don't know much about the topic, all you need is a valid argument. So also essays that got 6.5, you probably used inappropriate connectors, and this means that they were probably forced in there. The student might have learnt on a blog that, okay, you need to use these words, nevertheless, however, therefore, and all the rest of it, and they just stuff them in there. But if they're used inappropriate, you're not going to get the points you need. So a good way to learn how to use the connectors is to get feedback, is to start experimenting with them and get feedback from an essay corrector, and just slowly work and improve and learn some structures where you are completely 100% certain that you're using the right connectors in the right context and in the right way. And the way you do that is get feedback on your essays, and you can get feedback and you can get your essays corrected at IELTSWritingTask.net or SentenceGuide.com. Both of those places offer some solid essay checking resources. Now, minor errors in grammar and tense. If you're getting your essay corrected, then you're going to know the mistakes that are being made. And once you've finished your writing, you go over your essay and you look for those mistakes, you correct them so the examiner doesn't have to. Now, the ones that scored 8, Band 8, are developing coherent arguments with the linking words and the clauses, okay? And it's also sequenced. This is related to what I was talking about, general to specific. There's a sequence there. We're not just jumping in with an example, then arguing the broad case, That's not the easiest way and the most effective way to communicate. So complex grammar and tenses were used. So how do we learn complex grammar? Well, a hack, I don't like using that word, but a faster way is to go and find some academic reports and look at the sentences they use and then just try and change them and adapt them. Okay, so maybe you get a complex sentence and it's talking about climate change. Well, we could just change the nouns for employment levels. And this way we're going to use, and just experiment with these complex sentences until they're mastered. Okay, and doing this will also boost our vocabulary range and structure. And also, I've talked about word forms before, so I'm not going to go into it. Also, what's really important is that you're writing at least 250 words. I would aim for 250, 260, then you've got enough time to check afterwards. Also make sure that you've got a solid essay plan at the beginning, because if you start off incorrectly, then you're going to end up in an incorrect place. What I'm saying here, I'm not explaining it so well, but what I'm saying is if you start off wrong, it's like a road trip. If you start off wrong and take a few small turns at the beginning, you're going to end up way off course. Whereas if you double check, triple check your plan and your examples and make sure they all correspond, then it's going to be much easier to pick up the points for task response, for grammatical range and accuracy, lexical resource, and cohesion and coherence. Right, so I'll just go back to the story I was saying, that if you are taking the IELTS with a goal to get employed at the end, then you probably want to pass as soon as possible. Good way to do this is getting feedback on your essays and getting professional help. YouTube will only take you so far. If you've got a tutor guiding you, it's going to be much easier and much faster to progress. So let me just finish what I was telling you before. So one day I'm working, my boss comes in, new car, super shiny, super flashy, and I'm very impressed, and I tell him, wow, amazing car. And he says, well, Ben, if you work hard, if you put in the extra hours, if you exceed your objectives, if you give your life and blood to the company, then next year I'll be able to buy a new car. So I know it's only a funny story, but there's some good vocabulary there related to employment, and it's going to be an easy way to remember it. Tell the joke to your friend, and IELTS doesn't have to be painful, okay? Working with me, working with your friends, this can be an it can be an enjoyable experience. And either way, get your head down, keep working, keep studying, eventually you'll get there. Have a great day and good luck. And if you do need some professional advice and you do want some help in progressing and passing and getting to that band 8 or a band 7 or a band 9, check out sentenceguide.com, or if you just want some materials, you can go to IELTSPodcast.com, depending on your situation. Okay, but put in the work. This isn't going to be super easy. Does need some dedication, some effort on your half. All the best.